What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Hey, y'all. Happy Sunday. You know what this is. It's Walking Dead, right? Season 7, Episode 13, Bury Me Here. Okay, before we get into this review slash recap slash discussion, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I'd love to have you as a subscriber to my channel. I promise you won't regret it. Also, give me a thumbs up if you want to. Let me know what you think about my comment. And more importantly, comment down below on this episode. It was high impact, so without further ado, let's get into it. We see the show open. There is a giant truck and a couple of small crates of melons. Door closes, door opens. There is one crate and one melon. Door closes. Episode starts. What the heck? What's going on, y'all? What's going on with the melons? We see next scene Carol. She wakes up sort of out of her fog, you know, metaphorically. Literally, she wakes up, and metaphorically, she wakes up out of her fog and finally smells the coffee. We see her startled, wake up. Next moment, we see Morgan training yet another protege. And that protege happens to be Benjamin, his number one protege's brother. And we get to see Morgan doing what he does best, which is be a sensei, you know what I'm saying? Imparting wisdom, you know what I'm saying? Keeping everybody focused, bringing them in line. This is what he does, and it's a good scene. Then we see Carol. She has been up all night. She leaves her cabin and she looks both ways and she heads out. And she's walking and she's whacking and she's walking and she's whacking. She's on her way to the kingdom. She gets to the kingdom door. She sees that all the walkers are there at the door. She formulates a plan. It's got to be 6 to 8 walkers. She slays them all, doesn't even break a sweat. I mean, she's a bad mamma jamma. It's the reason why they call her Killer Carol, you know? So the people who are there at the gate, at the kingdom, see all of this. They're all in awe. But the number one person that's in awe consistently the most when it comes to Carol is Benjamin, protege Benjamin. Now, he's got the slightest, itty bittiest soupçon of a crush on Carol because he wants to be a man. He wants to be considered a fighter, a strong leader, a protector. And ironically, the person who has the biggest man balls out of everybody on this show is Killer Carol. Okay, he wants her to, you know what I'm saying, uh, uh, knight him and make him a part of her camp. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in awe of her. Carol could care less. She walks past him and then the whole group of men that are standing outside that gate. He's, you know, there we was gonna clean up the walkers and clear them out and all of that. Carol's like, psh, done and done. Where's Morgan? Goes inside. She sees Morgan. She has one question, not good morning, not how you doing, how's the day going. She wants to know, why did Jesus bring Rick and Daryl and the others here? Morgan gives her a real general, you know what I'm saying, run of the mill answer. You know what I'm saying? He can neither confirm nor deny. And she says, is it true what Daryl says? Is everyone okay? And Morgan's like, look, I don't want to, Daryl's the one told you that. You need to ask Daryl these questions. Let him clear it up for you. Okay, you got some more questions you want to ask Daryl. Leave me out of it. She got a couple of more things that she want to say. Now, the whole time she talking, she knows. And he knows that she knows. Okay? Her eyes are welling up with tears. Tears are starting to fall. Her breath is, you know, she just give it to me. Give it to me straight. He's not going to do it. All right? He tells her, you talk to Daryl. Daryl's over here. I'll go with you to talk to Daryl. Okay? But you know, I mean, you seem a little out of sorts. You seem, I mean, this is what you wanted, right? You wanted to be cut off from everybody. You wanted that you didn't want to kill. You don't want to know. You don't want to be a part of. Just what you wanted, right? You know. Next, we see Carol leaving, and Benjamin, protege Benjamin, is behind. He want to go with her. Please take me with you. Take me with you. Take me with you. Huh? Huh? Can I go? Can I go? Can I go? Can I go? No. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'm supposed to go with them to do the drop, but I'd rather go with you. No. Now at the same time, she like drop. This is another piece to the puzzle. Again, she knows, but she needs confirmation. This is just another piece of the puzzle leading to the confirmation of what she already knows. So she walks on out of the kingdom. She's going back through the town, and she notices a walker that she had passed coming into the kingdom is now dead. One that she had left there on the ground is now dead. And she stops and she looks around. She knows that someone's killed this walker. She doesn't know who. But again, she's Killer Carol. She don't care what you got. Bring it on. Who's out there? It don't even matter. Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? Let's dance. Meanwhile, we see this figure off to the side at, this building, kind of watching Carol, and peels off. We then see Richard walking, and he appears, in my opinion at least, to be this dark figure, and that was watching Carol, and he is brooding. He is seething. He is boiling, just to the point of boiling in terms of um, just being full of anger and angst and general overall half cockedness. He wants to do something. He's itching, he's antsing, he's chomping at the bit. He's really brooding. Comes upon this little purple book bag. It says Katie, and he has this moment looking at the book bag, and then we see him start to dig. Um, and you don't know what's going on. Is he burying the book bag? Is he digging up something? We don't know. I mean, here's the same man that's got a camper buried in the in the woods, hiding in the woods. So, yeah, what's going on with him? So then we see King Ezekiel, and he's looking out from his high vantage point, looking out on all the land and the people that he surveys. And there's gumdrops and lollipops and laughing children and happy families. And he is, you know, a great, great king, isn't he? This woman comes up and she has to deliver some bad news to him. And the news is that one of the gardens has a boll weevil infestation. And if you know anything about boll weevils, they have to be um, killed immediately. You cannot just uproot the vegetation. You have to burn it to get rid of the boll weevils. So she tells him, we have to do it now. We have to get this done. If not, we're going to have crops on the other side of the kingdom that will get infected too. And of course, he's disappointed. This is the loss of resources. Mind you, he has all of the kingdom to take care of and to feed, but he also has to do these weekly or monthly or however many drops with the saviors where he has to share the vegetation, the fruit and vegetables with them as well. So it's a loss. But she tells him, one thing about it is no matter how much we tear up, root out, dig up, and burn, we can always plant and it will always grow back. So there's a happy ending, and we all know that King Ezekiel loves, loves, loves happy endings. So we then see Richard and I'm sorry, Morgan and his protege, and protege Benjamin has a gift for Morgan, and that gift is a picture of a stick fighter, I think. Picture that he found, and this female that he knows, a friend, helped him repair the picture, and Morgan wants to know who she is. Protege Benjamin is slightly embarrassed and he doesn't indulge. So what do we see now? They're getting ready to do the drop. We see Richard and Morgan there getting ready to do the drop. They are loading up and looking out to see Benjamin talking to his brother, giving his brother a hug. I'll be back. I'm going to make the drop, the whole nine. And Richard says to Morgan, look at him. He's way too young to be a father. And Morgan's like, it is what it is. Now again, this is Benjamin's brother, but because his family is dead, he is now responsible for his brother, and that's what the reference means. Then we see Richard sort of have a come to Jesus moment with Morgan and apologizes for things he said, for things he's done, for behavior. And it seems to me that he is making amends of some sort. And honestly, at that time, and I tweeted about it, it seemed like he was giving last words, like last rites, like, you know what I mean? Like making amends, easing his conscience. And it just seemed odd to me. So then we see King Ezekiel have this moment where he is everything other than kingly. Up until this point, he has been a soft-spoken, kind, gentle, fair king. He sort of hauls off and snaps at his chubby little sidekick. The guy scarfing down Cobbler, and he tells him to leave the cobbler. Let's go. And it's this moment because we don't really know what's going on. Like, it's unlike King Ezekiel. Is he short and snappy with this guy because he gets naturally tense whenever they have to do the drops? Is he feeling this tension and anxiety because he knows that the drop could lead to somebody getting killed? I mean, there was this sort of reciprocity conversation left out there from last time with Richard and this number two a-hole. Or, is he upset about the Weevils? We don't know. This, like I said, this is out of character for him, this snappy behavior. So they all load up, head out to go make the drop. And we see shopping carts in the way. And Richard says, someone's blocked the way. So all of them get out. They remember to surround King Ezekiel. He's number one. We must protect him. And they have guns up. Everybody but Benjamin. And then we hear Richard say, Benjamin, get your gun up. And he gets his gun up. And they split up but stay together all at the same time. Formation. Richard's leading the way. Let's see what's over here. Then we're going to see what's over there. When they go see what's over here, they see that there's a grave that has been dug. And there's a handwritten sign there at this grave site that says, bury me here. And Protege Benjamin is like, wow, who would do this? And this is an opportunity for King Ezekiel to say, listen, this is a mad, mad world, and there's some mad, mad things going on, and consequently, people are going completely and utterly mad as a result. Who knows why people do what they do other than the fact that they're mad? And these are the times we live in. So they clear the buggies out. They load on up. They go to meet the saviors. When they go meet the saviors are already there. Number two a-hole has Morgan's stick, and he is practicing, and failing miserably at practicing with this stick. And they pull up automatically off the rip. They want to know, you're late. Why are you late? So King Ezekiel starts to explain to them why they're late. The guy says, I don't give a flip why you late. And Fat Cobbler guy says, don't talk to the king that way. And number two a-hole hauls off and thwacks Fat Cobbler guy. And it's funny because protege Benjamin says, "You rat faced prick." And he looks up, number two a-hole looks up from thwacking, from the motion of thwacking. When he looks up, he looks just like a rat in the face. And so Morgan kind of smiles. Of course, this now sets number two a-hole, um, makes number two a-hole target Benjamin. He looks at Benjamin like, remind me to bully you later. All right. So number one a-hole says, I don't give a flip about all this king bull crap. I don't care. There's no kings here. All right. Um, and he tells them, listen, we're gonna need your guns. So they're like, what? You know, Savior's got their guns, Kingdom's got their guns. What are we doing here? It's only one way for this to end. Ezekiel says, you know what? You're not taking our guns. We're here. We've got what you need. No. Listen, I think we're taking these guns. King Ezekiel says, that's fine. You want the guns. Give Morgan his stick back. Number one a-hole says, you don't make the rules here. I don't think you understand. Give up your guns. Give them up now. King Ezekiel concedes, gives the gun over. Okay? They take their kingdom's guns. Number one a-hole goes over and looks at the melons, realizes that there's supposed to be 12. There's only 11. Where you're short, you're late, and you're short. Now, he's got his back to the crowd. He's got his back to the group. King Ezekiel says, I'm not short. He says, you are short. Come and count for yourself. King Ezekiel walks over. He counts the melons. He's perplexed. He's befuddled. I know that there was 12 melons. I counted them myself. He turns and walks back to the crowd, thinking about that thing. Number one a-hole never turns around. See, he's already decided. He's already made up in his mind that Richard was going to die either way, even if they had the melons, even if they was on time. All right? But now that they don't have the melons, all the melons, and they weren't on time, this is even more reason for him to have, some reciprocity. But he never turns around because even though he's given the order, it's already been discussed. He knows it has to be done. He can't look at it. He can't watch it. He never turns around. So he says there must be sacrifices made. At this point, that's why we took your guns, because we knew that there was going to have to be a sacrifice made. This just makes it that much easier. Number two a-hole takes the gun and points it right at Richard, and points it at Richard's head, and Richard's just like, he leans into the gun. Go ahead. Just get it over with. Just do it. And number two a-hole says, just do it. And he says, yeah, just do it. And number two a-hole takes the gun, leans it away, and shoots someone else. Guess who he shoots? Benjamin. And he shoots him in that main artery in his leg. He immediately starts to bleed out. Everyone's shocked. And King Ezekiel immediately says, come on, we've got to get Benjamin some help. We've got to get Benjamin back to the kingdom and get him some help. It's at this moment that number one a-hole turns around, because he heard Benjamin's name. Benjamin was not supposed to be the one to get killed. It was supposed to be Richard. And he goes immediately up to number one a-hole, and it's like, what did you do? And he is pissed. Tells the guy, give them the stick, allows King Ezekiel and those to load up Benjamin to get him out of there. He's bleeding out. And Morgan says, come on, let's take him to Carol's house because we just gave her all those medical supplies. Now, I think that comment is a mistake, but I don't think he should have said that out loud, but what's done is done. All right. I think that's gonna come back to bite him in the butt. They load him up. They get him to get Benjamin to Carol's house. It is obviously too late. He is bleeding profusely. There's nothing they can do to stop it. He dies there. And there is this moment where everybody just cannot believe that he is dead. It all happened so fast. At the same time, Morgan leaves. He just kind of snaps, you know. He goes into crazy Morgan stage. Now, he's gone into this phase before. We haven't seen it in a while, where he is thinking about things past, future, friends, family, death, loss, murder, Benjamin, killing, thwacking, you know, Richard, Benjamin, get your gun up, this, that, the other, everything is coming in at once. He's having a little breakdown. He goes and he sits in the grave that was dug, and he's gonna cut his wrist, but he doesn't. Instead, he just sort of explodes and kicks this plastic tote. And when he does kick it, I think that was the point where he found the melon, the missing melon. So the next thing we see is him standing in Richard's room, and he is brimming, seething with anger. You can hear it with every breath that leaves his nostrils. He is pissed. Richard says, it was supposed to be me. Now, I'm calling this scene the 5 stages of grief, or, whatever. The stages of grief, because immediately he goes into, Richard goes into guilt. It was supposed to be me. I was supposed to be the one that was killed. And that was supposed to get King Ezekiel and the kingdom to do something, to act, to finally fight. Morgan is silent. He says nothing, not a word, not a peep. He's still standing there, just. Stage 2. It's pleading, bargaining. Listen. You're going to have to fight. I'm going to have to fight. You're going to have to kill. I'm going to have to kill. We're going to have to kill. Somebody's going to have to die. Okay? It's supposed to be me, but it turns out it was Benjamin. We all going to have to kill. Somebody has to do something. This is the same thing that happened with me and my family. Whenever all this jumped off, instead of me acting in this way and doing what I was supposed to be doing, I decided instead to run. I ended up losing my entire family and ultimately my daughter. Lastly, my daughter. My little girl, Katie, was killed, dead, gone, sacrificed. And it was all because I didn't do something. It's all because I didn't bust a move, Then Morgan is silent. Nothing. Through that whole story, nothing. As a matter of fact, he gives him a little. Okay. He goes into the next phase. Listen. Bargaining. Listen. Listen, Linda. Me and you can work together. We're going to trick the saviors into thinking we're a part of their team, that we're on their side. And then we'll mow them down. We'll kill them. We'll you know what I'm saying? This is how we're going to get this done. And we can only do this if we do it together. Come on, fight with me. Let's make this happen. Morgan's still silent. Nothing. And next we see Morgan sitting in his room, wringing his hand, and he's thinking. Is he thinking about joining Richard in this plan? Is he thinking and upset about Benjamin? Well, of course, but to some degree, is this what he's thinking about in this moment? What is he wringing his hands? He's clearly still upset. What's going on? At this same moment, we see King Ezekiel consoling Benjamin's brother, and that's a moment. So, listen, we're back to one lone melon and the second drop off. It's the next day. They've got to take the whole crew, this truck, sadden, grief, everything, to take this one melon. Like, it's a big, huge lump of crow to swallow, especially considering they have lost a very dear member of their kingdom. They get there, they get unloaded, and they're waiting on the saviors. And Morgan says to Richard, because when Richard was going through his stages of grief, he told them, tomorrow I'm going to tell the whole group what I did and go over the plan, and we're all going to fight together. So now that they're doing the drop off, Morgan asks him, did you tell them? And Richard says, nah, not now, after this. Morgan says, did you tell them? Listen, not now. I'll deal with it later. King Ezekiel want to know what y'all talking about. What's going on? What's happening here? What are we talking about? And Richard tells him, not now, later. And King Ezekiel's like, look at here. I'm the Mickey Fricky King. We will discuss this now. At that time, saviors pull up. First thing number one a-hole wants to know is how's the kid. He knows immediately by their countenance and their energy and their silence that the kid didn't make it. He knows he's dead. He immediately turns to number two a-hole and tells him, start walking. If you look at me, if an eyelash fall, if you blink, I'll kill you. I swear I'll kill you right now. The guy eats it. Number two a-hole starts walking. He looks at King Ezekiel because business is business and says, do you have it? Meaning the melon. The moment he says that, Morgan snaps, leaps on Richard, starts choking him out. The saviors are looking like, what the flip? They turn it on each other. The kingdom is shocked because Morgan is not a killer. Nobody did a thing. They watched Morgan strangle Richard to death and crack his skull open while he strangled him, and nobody made a move. Now, they didn't make a move because why? Because Morgan's not a killer. This isn't like him, but he's doing it. They didn't do anything because the saviors had guns and they didn't know how they were going to react. Were they going to kill it? We don't know, but nobody bust a move. As soon as he gets done killing Richard with his bare hands, he tells them what happened. Richard set all this up. Now, he's saying this in front of the saviors. Richard set all this up. He planned it all out. He took the melon because he wanted the saviors to kill him so that we would fight against the saviors, and it got Benjamin killed. All right. And everybody's still stunned. Then he turns to the number one a-hole, Savior a-hole, and he tells him, I hope this proves to you that we are okay with going alone and we're not going to be no trouble. We don't want to fight. We just want to keep things as is. We don't want no trouble. I hope this proves it to you. At this moment, number one a-hole concedes. He's like, oh, okay. Good. Same time next week, right? And they load up and they leave. Morgan goes back over it and he tells King Ezekiel, this is what happened. He did this, and this is what got Dwayne killed. And King Ezekiel says, wait, Dwayne? And Morgan's like, Benjamin. And it is at this moment that they realize that Morgan's a little fractured. He's not well. They want to get him back to the kingdom so that he can rest his brain. He can rest his mind. So, because something's not right with Morgan at this moment. Come go with us. We'll talk about it there. Morgan doesn't want to go. He's not going. No, come with us right now. You need to be seen about. Morgan's like, get the freak out of here. I'll be fine. They all load up and leave because obviously he can take care of himself, number one. And number two, what the freak just happened here? Morgan kneels down and finishes Richard, okay, so that he won't become a walker. And then we see him drag Richard's body to this bury me gravesite where he promptly buries Richard and then finds Katie's backpack, brushes it off, and there is this moment where he realizes Richard ultimately got what he wanted. It wasn't the way that he wanted, but he got what he wanted, um, all of what he wanted, and hopefully uh, he can go and be with his daughter now, Richard, and his family. So then we see him, Morgan, take all of this fractured mind, this, adrenaline fugue state, and takes it a therapeutic stroll down Main Street killing walkers. This is like punching a bag, or taking a run. He puts all that negative energy into killing walkers. Leaves there covered in blood and guts and walker schmutz, and knocks on Carol's door. Soon as she opens that door up, uh, Morgan says, "Do you really want to know?" And she says, "What happened to you?" And he says, "I strangled Richard to death and split his skull open because he got Benjamin killed, trying to get us to fight because he wants the kingdom and King Ezekiel to fight against Negan, because Negan killed Glenn and Abraham, smashed their heads open with a bat, and more than that, he killed Spence and Olivia and countless other people, and we all gonna have to fight to get rid of this mother sucker if we all plan to live." And she's standing there, she's stunned. And Jesus brought Rick because Rick wants to fight. He wants King Ezekiel to fight. That's where we are right now. She's stunned. She's stunned. She wanted to know, but she didn't realize it was so much. So I'm like, woo, the more you know. Then he walks off. She said, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to killing. I'm going to killing. I'm thwacking and I'm whacking." All right. She says, "Wait, no, wait. I can go with you." And he don't. "I'm on a mission. Okay. This what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted Killer Morgan. Y'all got Killer Morgan. Deal with it." Then we see that scene end. Next, we see Carol with all of her ammo, all of her gear. She's walking towards the kingdom. She goes inside the kingdom and she walks right up to King Ezekiel and she says to him, "I am so sorry." And he says, "Thanks." And she says, "I'm going to be here now. I'm living here now. I'm back. Old Carol's back. Old Killer Carol is back." All right. And we're going to have to fight. And finally, at last, maybe because his precious, precious Carol said it. Maybe because Benjamin is now dead and he realizes. Maybe because everything that transpired with Morgan. But King Ezekiel finally says, "Yes, we will have to fight. I agree, but not today." And they both go back to gardening with Benjamin's brother. Sweet moment. Sweet moment. Then we see Morgan sitting on the front porch of Carol's cabin in the woods, house in the woods. And he is sharpening a weapon, getting his weapons together. And he hears in the distance a whistling or rustling of some type that causes him suspicion. The noise stops. He goes back to shaping and forming this weapon. And that is how the episode ends. Now, let's talk about a couple of things. I want you guys to think about and give me your response on. One was, what do you guys think about everything that Richard did? Going off half-cocked, okay? Are we going to see more residual of this half-cocked behavior with Rosita and Sasha? We don't know. Number two, what do you guys think about Carol? sort of coming to the marvelous light about what's really going on in this world and what she really has to do. Number 3, poor Benjamin. Poor Benjamin. 4, do y'all think that the noise that Morgan heard is a result of what he said in front of the Saviors about Carol having medical supplies and going to her house? Okay. You guys think that Carol felt a little guilt about not taking Benjamin with her? If she had taken him with her and not gone and he not gone to the drop, he would be alive, wouldn't he? That's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you love this review. Go ahead and remember to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already done so. Give me a thumbs up and don't forget to leave a comment and let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Until next time, you guys, I holla.